10, 9, 8, 7, ignition sequence started. All engines are started. We have ignition, 2, 1, 0. We have a liftoff. We have a liftoff, and it's lighting up the area. It's just like daylight here at Kennedy Space Center as the Saturn V is moving off the pad. It has now cleared the tower.
There is a question that has lingered in the vacuum of space for over 50 years. As the Apollo 17 Lunar Module ignited its ascent engine and climbed into the blackness, the camera did something impossible. It followed.
Right away, Houston. Regs are good. Ag side. Pitch over. Roger, you have good thrust. Okay, 30 seconds. 308 your number. Okay, coming through 1,500 feet, and H-dot looks good.
It tilted upward, perfectly tracking the spacecraft as it fled the lunar surface and vanished into the stars. The skeptics were quick to point. No cameraman, no tripod, no astronaut left behind. So, who was behind the lens? The common assumption is that if a camera moves, a human hand must be moving it. But that assumption ignores a feat of robotic engineering that was decades ahead of its time. The cameraman wasn't a person. It was the Ground-Commanded Television Assembly, or GCTA. Built by RCA, the GCTA wasn't just a camera. It was a sophisticated, remotely operated imaging platform. Mounted to the front of the lunar roving vehicle, it was designed to be the eyes of the world when no humans were left on the ground. It consisted of 3 masterfully engineered components. First, a high-fidelity color television camera, built to survive the moon's brutal temperature swings. Second, a motorized control unit, allowing for fluid pan and tilt movements. And third, a high-gain antenna, used to beam those signals across the void. Every tilt, every zoom, and every pan was commanded from nearly 400,000 kilometers away. But the man behind the joystick faced a challenge that would break most modern operators. His name was Ed Fendell, known in Houston as Captain Video. Fendell's desk wasn't on the moon. It was at Mission Control in Houston. And between his hand and that camera sat the ultimate speed limit. The speed of light. Radio signals travel at the speed of light, but the distance to the moon is vast. It takes roughly 1.3 seconds for a command to reach the lunar surface, and another 1.3 seconds for the video signal to return to Earth. That is a round-trip delay of nearly 3 seconds. Think about the implications. By the time Ed Fendell saw the engine ignite on his monitor, the spacecraft had already been in the air for almost 3 seconds. If he reacted to what he saw in real time, he would have been filming empty ground. Fendell couldn't react. He had to predict. He wasn't tracking the lunar module. He was executing a choreographed sequence of commands timed to the millisecond. He had to send the tilt-up command before he ever saw the flames on his screen. He was essentially flying the camera blind, trusting the math, the physics, and his own internal clock. NASA had tried this before. On Apollo 15, the tilt mechanism stalled. On Apollo 16, the framing was off. But on Apollo 17, the final human mission to the moon, everything aligned. The footage isn't proof of a conspiracy. It's proof of a triumph. It is the result of a man on Earth playing a high-stakes game of temporal chess against the laws of physics. No one was left behind. No one was hiding in the shadows. What you are seeing isn't a mystery. It is a masterpiece of engineering. The moment humanity's reach finally exceeded its grasp.